is a great deal that people can do. I mean, I think many times people think to themselves, well, what does one postcard do? What does one signature do? I mean, the point is that it's never just one postcard or one signature. It's the collective efforts of our members and their friends and their communities across the countries that help push for legislation like the McCain Amendment, which made quite clear that the ban on cruel and human degrading treatment applied all over the world, not just in the U.S., as the administration had asserted, and that if you were in a military facility, you couldn't use any kind of interrogation technique that wasn't specifically approved by the Army Field Manual, which now explicitly prohibits many of the things we saw in Abu Ghraib and other places. And so all of these things come not just by one court case and not just by one attorney or one piece of legislation, but really the collective efforts of people all over the country who are working to educate their communities, whether that means their religious communities, their school community, their local community, conversations around the dinner table, taking public actions to educate people, to draw attention to the matter, engaging their elected officials. All of these things feed into a larger movement in which we've really been able to shift the debate back from sort of the fear of terrorism to what is acceptable, what is lawful, and what is the best way to address these issues. Through Amnesty International, certainly you can go on our website, www.amnestyusa.org. There's so many ways to take action at many different levels that people can get involved to the extent that they have capacity, which could be anything from signing a pledge or sending a letter to hosting a community forum or a teach-in to visiting their member of Congress's office or their senator's office and making their voice heard. There's always a wide range of activities, but I really do encourage people to log on and at least do something.
Human Rights First has a pretty elaborate intern program. You can go to our website, www.humanrightsfirst.org, to find information about our internship program. We're always looking for new interns. Additionally, new lawyers who are perhaps have gone into firm practice may be able to volunteer their time to represent asylum claims. They may be able to represent somebody who has escaped to the United States that is trying to seek asylum. We have a very robust pro bono program.
Only 5 to 7% of people in a congressional district, and there's 600,000 people in every congressional district, only 5 to 7% take advantage of the opportunity to speak to their member of Congress, and most of that is through these blast emails that we see.
Three other things that we usually cover as the ABCs. We want to serve as an accurate source of information for them so that they can rely on us and they can say, all right, I received this information about extraordinary renditions, the person was credible, and gave me information that I can use. The second thing, these staffers are very busy, so we want to drop off a couple pages of information, tell them the reasons why we feel strongly about this legislation. And finally, we want to be courteous. And this one, I think, is very important in all of our human rights work, and particularly when we're working with difficult offices. Because, well, for a couple of reasons. One of the reasons is because some of these offices don't agree with us on some of these issues, but they will on others. And we want to make sure that we are in a position that we can get their support on the next issue. We want to make sure that they don't think these people are just jerks. We can disagree with them, but we need to do that. We need to do that in a courteous, civil method. You're gonna get your representative, your senator, on board as a co-sponsor by being accurate and brief and courteous and specific and persistent. But in particularly because you're persistent, you're following up.
What I really strongly suggest you do is you leave yourself an opening to follow up with the staffer later. Right? Go, look, I have some information on this I'd like to send to you. Can I call you in 2 weeks and see where things stand? Because what you want to do is not just to walk in and walk out and you're done and they forget about you fairly quickly, because they see a number of people every day. You want to walk in and start establishing a bit of a relationship. So by leaving yourself an opening, what you can do is send them the information, pick up the phone, call them, by the way, we met a week ago and I just sent you the information, I wanted to make sure you get it. What do you think about it? And you're starting a conversation that stays in the front of their mind. My name's Corey. I work for Congressman Joe. Thank you very much for coming in today.
Hi, my name's Ariana. Nice meeting you.
What can we do for you today, Ariana?
Well, I did want to come and talk with you on a couple of issues. First of all, this is my first time coming into lobby to speak with my senator, so I'm a little nervous, but despite that,
Well, we appreciate you taking the time.
thank you. Thank you for seeing me. I did want to thank you, first of all, for sponsoring the McCain amendment and talk with you about something which is related, although slightly different, which is S654. Because I'm concerned about outsourcing torture, and I feel that that really is not in line with my own morals.
Okay.
And wanted to see co-sponsorship for S654.
What is S654?
It is the Convention Against Torture Implementation Act.
And what does it do? Can you tell me anything about it?
What's talking about, and similarly to the McCain Amendment, it's talking about laying out some of the ground rules about what is acceptable and not acceptable behavior or actions within all U.S. agencies, so not just select agencies, but also not only within the United States, but what is being done outside the United States. So it applies worldwide.
And I appreciate the fact that you're very concerned about it, but what about it brought you in here to see us?
I'm concerned about what this is presenting for what the United States stands for in terms of moral conduct, not only how we treat our own citizens, but other citizens as well. But that says that what we're willing to do, based on whether we're at war or not, that we can bend what our moral obligations are. I don't feel that that's justified.
All right, well, I'd be happy to take it to the Congressman for you.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.